Hello, this is Christy. In today's Camtasia tutorial, I want to show you an interesting way to show when a speaker is speaking on screen. Maybe you've recorded a Zoom call or a phone call where someone is speaking, but you don't have a video of them. Maybe they were hiding their camera, or like I said, they may be on the phone, but you want to include that on your video, maybe a conversation between two people or more people, and you want to show when visualize when they are speaking on screen. So if you don't have video, the next best thing is to put a picture of them or an avatar. But if you have more speakers or you have the video on top of other stuff you're showing on screen, like a presentation or something else, it may be hard to see. And this is one way to show a little bit of visual feedback when someone is speaking on the screen. So let me show you what I mean. So I have this recording of myself here from a tutorial. Let's suppose that this is me talking on the phone or something else, and you don't have video of this person speaking. How are you going to show this on screen that they are speaking? Obviously, I can pull in an avatar or a picture of the person, right? So let's do that. So I'm going to bring the avatar of this person, just a picture of them, put it on the screen, and just to make it interesting, I'm going to make it a talking head image. So I'm going to go to annotations, go to shapes, and show me all the shapes, and then I'm going to use this circle annotation, bring it up on the screen, Control Shift to make it larger, like so, and then go to the visual effects and use the media mat on it, on that shape, to put this speaker on the screen in a circle like so. So this is my person, my avatar. Now I'm going to group that and make it a single object, and let's put it all the way there. So I've stretched this picture for the entire duration of the project, right? So I've got the audio and the person on screen, right? So if they're talking now. Hello, this is Christy. In this quick video, I'm going to show you a Camtasia tip. Okay, so this is the audio. You can see some pauses in there. Maybe there's someone else speaking. It's an interview or a dialogue, or, this is a nice tip if you have like a podcast with interviews and you want to turn the podcast into a video for YouTube to reuse the content, So this is one way, instead of having just a static image on screen, you maybe have the pictures of the two speakers, and we want to show a little bit of feedback. As I said, a bit of visual indication who is talking, right? Maybe they have similar voices or whatever. So this is one way to do it. So the first thing is, of course, you want to spread that image on the timeline, the whole thing, the avatar that I created, spread it on the timeline for the entire duration of the conversation. You don't want to be pulling it, all the time. Another way now to make this more interesting is what we want to do is we want to show like one of those halos around the image, right? You see that in some of those chill hop, relaxing, chill out videos with music. And because there's not much happening on the screen, they have like a CD or some name or some logo, and there's the music is pulse, it's kind of visualization around the picture or around the logo. It's pulsating, or it's making some nice animation around the picture. Well, Camtasia does not have ability to do that. It doesn't have any effects or assets that react to sound. Maybe that's a good idea for the next version of Camtasia. I don't know if someone at TechSmith is watching, but you cannot make something animate or rotate or jump around or pulsate as a consequence of sound. But we can actually imitate that. We can fake it. Okay, fake it till you make it. Let's fake that. So what I want to do is I want to have a nice halo around this person that I can turn on and off when they're speaking, right? So I can very clearly see on my timeline, if I make the track larger, the taller, I can see exactly where my waveform is. So that's easy to see when they're speaking and when they're not speaking. Now, depending on the length of your conversation, this may be worthwhile or not, but it's a nice effect you can use. So the method number one is this. You can go and create a nice graphic and you can make it pulsate, all the time. We're not worried about the waveform right now. So what I want to do is go to the annotations, and I'm going to draw another circle, right? So I'm just going to put another circle in here. So this one, let's Control Shift and make it as larger than the picture, and let's put it at the bottom there. Okay, so just below. You can't see it yet. You can see it now. Okay, so this is the shape we want. So I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, I may need to adjust the positioning of that just to make it very, very centered. The reason that's not because the picture inside of my group with the mask is larger, so that's why it's a bit off screen. Anyway, this is nice. This is the circle. Now, of course, I can make this sort of pulsate. Okay, so one way to do this is really very simple, and this is not actually the finished effect. Okay, push that, you know, all the way to the end of the video as again. So go to the visual effects and let's add a glow to that, right? So I can add a glow to this shape. So you can see the glow now. You can change the radius and you can change the intensity. Okay, so it's kind of turning red or whatever. You want this to maybe one way to do it is just to make this kind of grow and reduce as the person speaks. Now, one way to do this, of course, is using animation. You can animate the intensity of the glow, by the way, if you didn't know. So let's zoom in here and let's take care of this segment first. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here and add an animation, Shift and A, or you can add an animation for the entire thing here, like so. So I'm going to go to the end of the speech, Shift and A, and then drag the end of the animation there. So now in between this, you can actually get fancy with this. So the maximum radius is now selected and the intensity is not very high. Okay, so notice what happens. If I go to one of these top points, I can just pull the intensity up. If I go to a low point, you can pull the intensity down like so. So you can actually go and just adjust the intensity at the high points. So let's go for maybe 65 for a high point, and let's go low for like 35 for a low point, right? So you can do this a few times. I know it's not, you know, it's kind of time consuming thing, but I'm going to show you actually a way to replicate this. So don't put too many because you're going to have to copy those whole things. So just go around where you see the high points. You know, this is one way to do it. I know, yes, it doesn't react to sound. We are making it, you know, we're faking this right now, but that's okay because Camtasia is going to remember these values. And the person actually speaks, usually people speak at a normal, similar pace throughout the entire video or audio. So there we go. So now I'm going to just go and put some low points in there. Okay, so I'm going to do a few 35, go to some low points, put a 35 like so. And there you go. Bear with me on this. I'm just trying to get it. So look, I'm playing now. Hello, this is Christy. In this quick video, I'm going to show you a Camtasia tip. Okay, so that was the first part. Okay, I can maybe add another low point in here, 35. Okay, like so. So there you go. That's my animation of the pulsating glow effect, right? Now, one thing to do this is actually, you can actually go and copy all of these. So Shift key and select all the animations. Yeah, you can actually jump around and make them all yellow. Just hold down the Shift key, select all of these animations like so, and Control C. When you copy these animations, they're selected, and you can now go and paste them somewhere else. Okay, so that's one way to do it. You just go in here, you Control V, and if you've done it wrong, you just go forward. It actually pastes at the playhead backwards. Control V like that. Of course, you can go and delete the ones that should not be there. So that's one way to do it, like so. So now look, editing, audio editing in Camtasia. Right, so in between these points, if you want, you can turn the intensity all the way down, like so. Okay, so in here as well. So now it's Camtasia tip goes away when there's no editing, audio editing in Camtasia speech. Okay, that is very easy to do. So now watch this. This is a very cool effect. Hello, this is Christy. In this quick video, I'm going to show you a Camtasia tip. Another way to do this, so if you don't want to copy these animations all the time, what you can do is just use a duplicate copy of this clip. So what you can do is just go in here and slice it, make sure the clip is selected, go to the start of the animation, okay, there, select that one and slice it. And then you copy this part here that has the animation on it already. So, and the effect, okay? Don't add markers. If it's hard to select, just make the track taller so you can click around these. So I'm copying this segment that's got animations on it. And I can go to maybe, I don't need this part now anymore. So I'm just going to make that disappear. So place my playhead where I'm starting some animation, paste. Camtasia puts it on the next empty track, which is the lowest empty track. So let me remove those tracks, remove empty tracks. Okay, so this is the part. Of course, I can copy this a couple of times because look, it's actually longer, this part of the speech. So just make sure you copy this in there. Just place the playhead and paste that a couple of more times. Bring that in here and paste it again. People are not going to know that you actually faked this. So slice the last piece and just delete it. And let's go back to the, finally, I just copy all three of them because there seems to be, I have a segment that's the same length. Place the playhead there and paste it like this. And of course, you may want to go to the end and slice that last bit off. So there you go. Now I'm just going to play in the middle somewhere. The volume. So I'm going to show you a little trick if you are reusing the same. Now it stopped obviously for all of them, maybe even vary the volume for the song or for the soundtrack for multiple projects. I want to show you a cool trick to save you some time. So there you have it. This is one way to do it. Now don't go away yet because I have another way to do this even more interesting. So using the same procedure, I'm just going to leave this one alone and I'm going to actually save and just copy this one and the avatar and make another one right there. So this is procedure number 2. This is even more interesting. So this is what I wanted to actually do at the start of this tutorial, but then I got sidetracked with the glow thing. So let me show you another way. I go to annotations again and bring another one of these right there. And of course, I'm going to move it down just below the avatar, just so we have an idea about, you know, the size like this. So that's cool. Another one I want to do is now I go to the star annotation, right? So this star annotation, I'm going to just take this and place it in the center like so. Let me zoom in to show you what I'm doing. I'm actually going to take this and scale it about here. I don't want to really go outside, but I may have to. So let's align this. Let's stretch the whole thing for the entire duration of the animation like so. I may rename this group. So this is avatar, just so I know what's happening there. And this time, what I want to do is I want to use behaviors. This is something that allows you to make some stuff move or pulsate or blink or something without using animation. So these are like a little bit of a repetitive built-in animations in Camtasia that you can apply to objects. And actually, if you go to behaviors, on the left side here, all of the effects they show with text, but actually behaviors work with objects too. So if I take this one like pulsating, for example, I can drag it on this star. So look what's happening. Video, I'm going to show you a Camtasia tip. You can see the star pulsating. Now, of course, when you start at the start, it comes in. Hello, this like that. So you want to turn on the in annotation, turn it off. So just go to style and click none. And also at the out animation, go to none like so. So then it just comes in. Hello, this is Christy. In this quick video, I'm going to show you so you can see it's pulsating at an exact pace, exact, interval. It's kind of boring. But what you can do is you can go to the behavior settings for the during and you can tweak these things. For example, if you turn the scale down, it actually gets larger. Camtasia tip. So the distance between small and large, the difference is quite different. Editing, audio like editing. Or you can have a loop time, which makes it go in Camtasia slower or faster. If you go really fast, it's crazy. But you kind of find, and when you import a music file, you have to listen to the voice, so you kind of make tweaks to make it pulsate a little bit like the voice. In Camtasia or a sound file, you don't have, that's too fast. Too many controls to change the volume. So I think I'm happy with this. And also you've got a delay, which delays the start of the animation. So you're going to see that's kind of useful at the moment. You can tweak the movements. So you've got an ease both sign, which is not really good. What I like is spring. I'm going to show you a little trick if you are, or you can use these smooth. You're reusing the same or the bounce, you know, just whatever you like. For all of them, maybe even vary the volume for the song or for. Okay, I know this is getting crazy now, but what I can do is just make it a bit larger because I want it to kind of start here. Soundtrack for more. Okay, this is one animation, right? So one star. This is boring. Okay, if I move this just below everything else, so let me just move the avatar at the top. I'm going to make a little more room there. So this is the star and the shape behind it. I'm going to make the star the same, you know, I'm going to make it red. So these are both red now. Of course, if you look, this is kind of fake. Okay, so you may want to adjust it when it's at the top and just shift and make it kind of go inside like this. And if you don't like it, of course, tweak it some more. I'm actually not crazy about the way it's a tip. That's quite nice. So this is kind of, it looks like a bit of an audio waveform kind of thing. So what I want to do is actually, I want to replicate this. But before I do, I want to make it rotate. First of all, I'm going to make a copy of it and change the delay because I want it to start a little different. So every time I do it, I want it to start a little later. So I'm going to add a little bit of a delay, not too much. Quick video, I'm going to... And if I rotate it, show you a Camtasia tip. You can see already there's two of them. You can change the scale a little bit. Audio editing in Camtasia. So they look like they are different size. Okay, so you may want to move your playhead. And you can see already they are a little bit offset now from one from the other, right? So feel free to just move the avatar higher and make another copy of this. Just place it at the same point. Change the delay a little bit. On the behavior, go to during, change the delay a little more, and then change the scale a little differently. And then you rotate it like a little bit like that. So then basically you've got like 3 now. But they kind of look the same. So what I want to do is just maybe change the loop time a little bit so they go at different times. Editing, audio editing in Camtasia. And because of this repeated kind of thing, it's a little annoying, but I'm going to show you another thing you can do. And okay, so now let's suppose this is, I'm happy with this right now. I'm not going to tweak it anymore because it's going to make a very long video. Just make that circle a little smaller like so. So now what you can do is basically you can select all of them and group them. That's one thing you can do. Group all of these. So these are the pulsating, I'm just going to rename this pulsating star. Yeah, just so we know what it is. And when you import a music file in Camtasia or a sound file, it still works, right? So now what I want to do is I want to make this more interesting. So I'm going to rotate it. Before I rotate it though, I want to add a glow. Again, go to Visual Effects and use the glow on the whole group. You see now it's glowing. It's quite nice. And when you import a music file in Camtasia, and if you want, if you feel like that red baseline circle is kind of staying there, you can actually scale the whole thing down. So just leave that little glow in there. Audio editing in so now you can see those wave forms coming out from behind the picture. Another thing you can do, like I said, you can rotate it. So Shift and A to add an animation, move it there, make it long, and then at the end, just add a rotation here of about, I don't know, 650 degrees. So that means for the whole duration, it's going to spin around. Hello, this is Christy. In this quick video, I'm going to show you a Camtasia tip. Editing, audio editing. You notice the problem, it's pulsating even when there's no speech. And we'll take care of that at the end. Music file in Camtasia or a sound file, you don't have too many controls to change the volume. So I'm going to show you. So the way to do that, and before I destroy this, I want to just pull the avatar down and select everything and make a copy. That was version 1 of the second effect. This is getting too long now. I'm going to paste another one here and show you another idea. I kind of like to play like this in Camtasia and kind of discover as I go. I find different procedures and different effects I can add to, you know, make something more interesting. So this is one way of doing that. Let's suppose that if you remember those audio spectrums, when you play them, editing audio, you notice that this one is green, for example, but some of the devices have it like from green to yellow to orange and then red. So the louder the sound is, the different color it is. So the red is like the loudest or maybe even clipping, and green is like a normal low level kind of audio. We can replicate something like that here, and let me show you how. And this is really cool because the tops of the lines are going to be red and the bottoms are going to be green. Very easy to do. So we're going to use annotations again, just basic shapes, nothing fancy. Go to shapes and find this circle here. Let's pull that in here like so. Don't worry about the size. I'm just going to put it in the center there just so I get an idea, but you can of course change it. So I'm going to use it like this. Okay, so this is the circle number 1. I'm just going to align it with the whole duration so I don't have to do it every time. Okay, zoom into the play area. So this is what we're going to achieve now here. This is the first circle. So let's call this one the loudest, right? So the loudest is going to be red. Just go to the colors and just change it to red. Just make this very red. This means like the top sound. So let's pull this one up until we cover the whole thing, right? Now, place the playhead at the start. That's going to make it easier to paste things in place. Control-C, Control-V, make a copy of this, and let's make this one orange. Okay, so this is going to be on top. Just move the slider. If you can't see this, let me just pull in the window a little bit in there. So just open the color selection and move the slider up to the sort of orange area, right? No problem. Let's make a Shift and Control and scale it down like this. Just a bit, you know, not too much. Control-C, Control-V again, go up, and let's make this one yellow. Okay, so we're gonna go through the sort of audio spectrum. So this is kind of yellow right there. Okay, again, make it smaller. So Control-Shift, make it smaller, and then Control-C, Control-V. Don't worry about all these layers. We're gonna hide them in the end. This one is actually gonna be kind of green, greenish yellow like that. Okay, finally, let's just make it a little smaller again. If you're finding hard to rescale these, you can maybe pull the snapping off, turn this canvas snapping off. Finally, Control-C, Control-V again, and make this one kind of green now. So go back to the green. So this will be our basic audio level like so. So just pull that one down there. So that's it. You know, it doesn't have to be very accurate, but if you need to, just zoom in and again, use the Shift and Control key. So this is our audio spectrum colors, sort of. Okay, let's select all of these and group them. Control-G like that. And this is the coolest bit ever. I'm just going to take the pulsating star, move it at the top, and use this one as a mask. Okay, so we're going to use the media matte effect on this. Go to Visual Effects and Media Matte. This is the one. Drag it onto the pulsating star. Boom. And now this means that the pulsating star created a mask. And look at that. You've got the colors on the spectrum. Now, because this is on top of it, we have the avatar that we need to move at the top right there. So I'm looking like a hippie psychedelic kind of picture here. Not a problem, but this is quite fun. So now let's see. Hello, this is Christy. In this quick video, as you can see that, you know, it's kind of cool. And one way you can actually tweak that is, if you don't really see it, you can actually go and scale the avatar down a bit, you know, so just make it just stay inside of that area. Control-Shift to constrain it, but it does tend to snap anyway. So that's your thing. And if you think it's kind of large, you see too much green and not enough red, click on the circle group, which is down there. You can see all the colors right here, and it helps to zoom in though. And if you zoom in here and you control shift, you can scale that down a bit until you see the right colors that you want. Maybe you don't want to see so much green, right? And then if it's the tops are getting cut off, you can go inside of the group and just take the red shape and go back, scale it up even more, and take the orange one maybe, and you just kind of, depending on how much you want to see of every color, right? So I would say that's fine. So the top is red, of course, and everything else. So if you still see some stuff cut off, you can right click and say resize group to canvas size. Resize group to canvas size. So bring all the groups to the canvas size, because Camtasia has still this bug where it just crops stuff to the group that it's in, which is weird if you've got animation happening. So all of the groups involved, make sure you right click on them and resize group to canvas size. This is actually going to stretch all of them to fill the canvas, right? Let's see what we have achieved. Hello, this is Christy. In this quick video, I'm going to show you a Camtasia tip. Okay, so I promise we're going to fix the problem with the repeating. So that's what I'm going to do now. We've got the avatar picture, which we obviously don't want to affect. Now, the problem with the avatar is the audio is down here. So what we want to do is we want to make sure there's no animation where there's no speech, right? So one way to do this is just go between these points with no audio on them. So just zoom in if you need to. Select the area without sound, like so, which is the part which we don't want to show anything happening in terms of pulsating animation. Select both groups, the pulsating star and the group one, which actually is the circles, right? And you can go to the start and press S to slice them, okay? And select both of them again. Go to the end of the selection, press S again. And if you don't want to do it with the selection, it's fine. You just delete these parts. So let's see what happens. Camtasia tip. Editing, audio editing. There it is. So if you do this again for all of the other ones, so all you have to do is just select these two clips that you want to cut off, go to the end of the audio, press S, and go again to the start of the audio, select these two, press S again, and then shift and select like that. That's one way to do it, so that you're making these gaps in there, but you're leaving the avatar in there because you don't want that to disappear. And when you import a music file in okay, and there you go. You hunt down all the parts. When you get to the point where you need to remove something, make sure you don't forget to select the clips you want to cut, because the key S in Camtasia split affects only the selected clips. So if I press S, only the selected clips. If you don't want to bother with selections and you want to slice everything, you can press Ctrl Shift S, which will slice all the clips at the playhead, regardless of if they're selected or not. So you don't want to do that in this case. But anyway, select these two that you want to cut, S, and then go to the start, select them again. So this is the way to do it. Press S, and then select the ones in the middle and delete. Don't control backspace, which is going to be a ripple delete, and is going to bring the other part at the start again. So you want to leave that gap in here. So let's see it again. Using the same for all of them, maybe even vary the volume for this. So hey, this is not exactly a sound reacting sort of asset, but it's very interesting and it's easy to do, and you can reuse it in all of your projects. And I know this one looks kind of weird and psychedelic, but you can use the simple one, same, or you can use the one that I showed at the start using animations. You don't have too many controls to change. So then you got 2 or 3 or more speakers. You just put these under all of their avatars and then you go and slice them up. Might be a bit of work, and of course you can do this in probably another software if you need to, but if you want to do it in Camtasia, this is one way to do it. And let's hope that TechSmith brings the sound reacting components in here so we can have some fun with that. But I don't know if that is actually part of the Camtasia scope. Camtasia is more like for training and teaching. This is more like one of those fancy have fun effects, which I don't think have much to do in the training area. But we can only hope. So thanks again for your time. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any other questions, any tutorial ideas, or things you might like me to try and replicate or see if they can be done in Camtasia, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. And if you have not upgraded to Camtasia, there's a link in the description as well to click to buy it. It's an affiliate link, and if you click and buy it, it will support my channel, for which I thank you very much. And then see you on the next one.